We start to prepare then for semi-final number 2 of the 24th running of the Waterhays Trophy here at Silverstone. And this time it'll be the other 2 heat winners that will start on the front row of the grid, Andrew Rackstraw and Chris Middlehurst. Rackstraw, who was 3rd in the event last year behind Michael Eastwell. The person who finished ahead of Eastwell, though, was Chris Middlehurst. So last year's podium finishers on the front row of semi-final number 2. Some track clear-up necessary, though, before we are able to release the cars. And for Andrew Rackstraw, he's got a teammate perhaps to work with, because Klayden Cole KC Ensor-Smith, his South African teammate, will be starting just behind him, making his Waterhays Trophy debut this year as the runner-up in the South African Formula Ford Championship this year. Luke Cooper, another podium finisher from the heats, he's up there too. His teammate Rob Hall, they both got podiums yesterday for Swift Cooper. Both Castle Combe Formula Ford champions, as is Felix Fisher, who was on the podium too for TM Racing and his Ray. But there'll be people further back to watch out for. Alex Walker, for example, for Wayne Paul Racing, the sometime British GT racer. He starts 11th, so he should be rapid, I should think. What about Joey Foster? He starts 17th, the 4 times winner of this event. He'll be looking to move forwards after a very problematic day yesterday in the Pirate Motorsport Furman. So watch out for him from 17th. And then the drivers who progressed through the last chance race, Gavin Wills, James Hadfield, they'll be coming through from row number 14 on this grid. So lots of anticipation awaiting in the hospitality units overlooking the assembly area, and also the just to the left of there, the BRDC grandstand and the BRDC clubhouse as well, serving drinks, I'm sure, and food. We're coming up to lunchtime as well to the BRDC members, but many of those have worked their way up to the top floor to watch the action. It may be a bit chillier outside, but there's a better view up there. And as you can see, the top of the clubhouse absolutely packed. It's one of the sort of big events, I think, for the British Racing Drivers Club. The end of season Waterhays Trophy event at Silverstone. And they will all be looking forward to this second semi-final to find out the other 18 spots that will be on the grid for the grand final, which is due up just after 3:30 here today at Silverstone. We are running pretty much on schedule at the moment, so we'll see how the afternoon goes. There's the BRDC grandstand, and that is pretty much full up now that we've got to semi-final action overlooking Brooklands and Lapfield on the big action spots here at the Waterhays Trophy. And I wonder over the next 12 laps around that part of the track what may happen. The cars then being released from the assembly area, led out by the South African Andrew Rackstraw, the Porsche Carrera Cup race winner this year in this country. He revealed that to us here 1 year ago after he finished on the podium of the Waterhays Trophy. He said he'd be back for a full season in this country, and he has been, but he's not just back for Porsches, he's back for Formula Ford action here at the Waterhays as well. He's been sometime a United Formula Ford competitor too, and been a multiple winner there this season. Just going through shot there, Alex Walker, the runner-up in the Castle Combe Championship this year. He's going to be moving forwards, I'm sure. The multiple GB4 Championship race winner too. Alex Walker will go from row 6, but a bit further back from there is Joey Foster, the 4-time winner of this event, the most successful driver at the Waterhays Trophy. He starts 17th. He won here 2 years ago. He won here a couple of decades ago. Most experienced driver and the most successful, but he's got lots of work to do from row 9 of the grid. We'll be able to bring, I think, that full grid to you in just a moment as the cars head off onto their green flag warming up lap. So it's Andrew Rackstraw on pole for KMR, and his Spectrum, the driver who finished 3rd last year. But he's alongside last year's winner, Chris Middlehurst, in the Team Dolan Van Diemen. Casey Ensor-Smith, another KMR Spectrum, starts 3rd alongside the Swift Cooper of Luke Cooper. On the 3rd row, his teammate Rob Hall starts alongside Felix Fisher's Ray. Jonathan Kotick, another Team Dolan car, he starts 7th alongside the family-run Ray of Charlie Mann. Row 5, Anthony Amato in his first Waterhays starts alongside another Castle Combe champion, that's Adam Higgins. Alex Walker will be looking to move up from 11th, he's alongside the American Jason Pribble in his Ray. Nathan Ward, the best of the historic cars in his Swift, he starts 13th alongside Alex Ames, with Andrew Schofield and Richard Tarling, the former Formula Farm Audi champion, up next. Joey Foster, the 4-time winner, starts 17th alongside multiple historic champion Callum Grant. Ian Campbell and Lewis Fox, they'll be looking to move inside the top 18 over the 12 laps. Ensor-Smith will look to do similar, I'm sure. He starts 21st alongside Drew Cameron. Then we get Mark McKenna and Pascal Monberon. Tom Hawkins, Joe Arendt are up next. Then the last chance front runners, Gavin Wills and James Hadfield. Ben Sims, Jake Shortland, Nigel Thompson and Nigel Dolan are up next. And then towards the back of the grid, on our final page of grids, will be Sam Mitchell, Ben Tinkler, Luke McShane and Neil Hunt, making up the 36-car grid for semi-final number 2. So cars make their way up towards the grid, Matt. Looking forward to another dramatic Waterhays Trophy semi-final, I'm sure.
Yeah, we certainly are. That was a great first one, wasn't it? And lots going on. And the 18 that made it through are the happy ones. And of course, with this one, it's exactly the same. We've got 18 going through, and the other 18 will be unfortunately out of it for the final. So they all start to line themselves up. Andrew Rackstraw and Chris Middlehurst there on the front row. Joey Foster, of course, we know is one to look out for. He's right on the fringes, down in 17th place. But as we saw at the Formula Ford Festival final, he made his way through and then, of course, got embroiled in some incidents towards the end of that race. But it's been now, I think, about 24 hours since he was last on track, because that's how long ago we saw Joey Foster out in heat number 1. He's had to wait all afternoon yesterday, all morning today, but he is ready and geared up to go, and one I'm sure that will be making progress through the field. Yeah,
we'll watch out for the progress of the Furman then, of Joey Foster going from 17th. He won't just want to be qualifying in the top 18. He'll be wanting to be as close to the front as he can get. He said to you yesterday, there's only one position that matters, and that is first. So to be able to be first in that grand final, you really want to be starting probably inside the top 10. So top 5 position for a semi-final. I imagine that might be the aim for Joey Foster here at an overcast Silverstone, but dry, importantly, which means we get some great slipstream in action. There on the front row, 2 podium finishers from last year. Andrew Rackstraw from pole on the right-hand side in the Australian-built Spectrum, run by Kevin Mills Racing. And alongside him, Chris Middlehurst in the Team Dolan, run Van Diemen. Chris Middlehurst, who won this event last year, former Formula Renault champion, former National Formula Ford champion as well. Then you've got Casey Ensor-Smith, the newcomer to the Waterhays, alongside multiple Coombe champion Luke Cooper, who almost won his heat yesterday but lost outright at the end. The 5-second board's already been shown, so that means we're about to get the red lights on, which happens now. The lights go out quickly, the race gets underway. It's a good start from Middlehurst, an awful start from Ensor-Smith on row 2, so he's going to be dropping down the order a little bit, but it's Middlehurst that leads. Rackstraw second, third is Cooper. I think Felix Fisher's made a good start up to 4th. There's Ensor-Smith trying to progress round the outside at Copse Corner, but it is Middlehurst. Rackstraw and Cooper have made good starts. They're getting away from Felix Fisher and Rob Hall down towards Beckett's. Big lunge around the outside from Ensor-Smith, trying to make the most of that corner after not getting the start to plan. He's got lots of work to do over the course of this 12-lap race. Luke Cooper there in 3rd position, chasing after the top 2. I imagine there might be less working together in this race. Andrew Rackstraw round the outside of Chris Middlehurst. They are wheel-to-wheel immediately. Middlehurst in the Van Diemen. Rackstraw in the Spectrum, tries to go right round the outside. He's got a bit of oversteer, but that will give him the inside line for Laffield, and Andrew Rackstraw will reclaim the lead at the final corner.
Yeah, just nice racing room there between the two of them. So Rackstraw back to the lead of the race, as Middlehurst led for about 3/4 of the first lap, but now the South African goes to the head of the field once again. Middlehurst second. Luke Cooper, who had a good Formula Ford Festival final on the podium, sits there in 3rd position now, and up into 4th place is going to be that of Felix Fisher from the 3rd row of the grid. So he's very much on a charge as the top 4 now start to break away from the rest of the pack. You've got Charlie Mann next up in the red number 20 machine, which sits there in 5th position, and then Casey Ensor-Smith is on his way back through after a bit of a slow start into 6th place as it stands. So 1 lap ticked off, top 4 looking good as they work their way for the 2nd time now onto that Wellington straight.
Very good start from Charlie Mann to be 5th. He started 8th. So he's made great progression up towards the lead battle. Fisher looking to the inside of Luke Cooper, 2 long-time protagonists at Castle Coombe. They're behind Chris Middlehurst and Andrew Rackstraw, though, and this is bringing the next 2 in. That's Charlie Mann and I think Casey Ensor-Smith, who's got himself ahead of Rob Hall. Hall out wide. I think that was Anthony Amato behind him. And then Joey Foster. He was 12th at the end of the first lap. He might be inside the top 10 now. And Joey Foster, they're making really good progress, as we thought he might do in these early laps in the Furman. But Chris Middlehurst in the tow of Andrew Rackstraw up towards the line, up towards Copse Corner. It's a very different race to the earlier one when we only had just 2 cars in the lead battle. This time it's many cars in the lead battle, so they can't really afford to work together. There's Foster up the inside of Adam Higgins, and that puts Joey Foster up to 11th, Matt.
Yeah, certainly does. He had a moment there yesterday, didn't he, through Copse Corner, which dropped him down the order. So Joey Foster doing well to make progress as we thought he would do. But as Josh said out front, we're having more cars now added to this lead battle. So we're up to about 6 or 7 by the looks of it. On the back of them at the minute is the 56 machine of Jonathan Klayden as they work their way again down the Wellington straight. But it's Andrew Rackstraw who is the man who is not really defending on this occasion. So he's happy to stay on the outside. Chris Middlehurst tries to throw one to the inside in second place. Luke Cooper still third. Fourth place as it stands is going to be Felix Fisher, but now he starts to feel pressure from behind as Casey Ensor-Smith goes round the outside there of Charlie Mann, but Charlie's going to make that car very wide and almost force him out wide on the exit of Luffield Corner. But for now it is still Andrew Rackstraw that leads the way as he crosses now to complete lap number 3. Quickest in the race is going to be, well, it was the race leader, now it's going to be all the way down in 7th place, which is the number 82 machine of Alex Walker.
And Walker up from 11th on the grid. He just got past Jonathan Kotick, so he's the one now latching onto the back of the lead group. But that has split because Felix Fisher's started defending hard from Casey Ensor-Smith, who's ahead of Charlie Mann now, and that is allowing the top 3 to get away. And Alex Walker's past Charlie Mann too, so Walker up to 6th now as they come out of the Beckett's corner. There's Felix Fisher being chased by Casey Ensor-Smith, who went really well yesterday, a podium on his debut. But Chris Middlehurst is going for the lead. He's on the inside of Andrew Rackstraw, who darts back to the racing line. Middlehurst really out of shape as he braked as late as he dared for Brooklands corner, but he managed to avoid Rackstraw's car. So still in the same order with Luke Cooper third as they turn their way through Luffield and head on to the next lap very shortly. This is the end of lap 4, about to start lap 5. And Middlehurst certainly looking racy to try and get the front row for the final. But Luke Cooper right there having a really good Water Haze up till now. And then Felix Fisher super defensive in 4th, allowing those in front to get away. And he's involved in that battle with Casey Ensor-Smith and Alex Walker and Charlie Mann, Jonathan Kotick there as well in that secondary group. But it's Rackstraw that still leads on the way up towards Beckett.
Yeah, and Casey Ensor-Smith in the background has got through, so he'll now lead the next train to try and work their way onto the lead trio once again, as Felix Fisher for now doesn't really have the speed that he wants, so he's sitting in there in 5th position. Now up behind them is going to be the car of Alex Walker. Charlie Mann is still there as well as Jonathan Kotick as they head again down the back straight, but Rackstraw is holding the middle of the road this time as Alex Walker in the background tries to dart to the inside line. Round the outside was Casey Ensor-Smith to try and hold on to that 4th position, and he does, but Felix Fisher definitely seems to be the cork in the bottle at the minute because everyone who gets past him is starting to pull away. So I think Alex Walker, before too much longer, will want to do exactly that and try and get up the road before Casey Ensor-Smith is too far ahead.
There's no love lost between Felix Fisher and Alex Walker after their Castle Combe Championship battle this year, so that could be interesting to watch. But for the lead, Middlehurst up the inside of Andrew Rackstraw, wheel to wheel through the corner. Rackstraw slides well wide out over the curb and Middlehurst is through. So Chris Middlehurst takes the lead on lap 6 at Copse Corner, and Luke Cooper's going to try and follow him through. So Rackstraw's having to fight on the outside line. He's got his wheel sort of back alongside Middlehurst. He's sideways again. That means Rackstraw's out wide over the curb, and alongside him comes Luke Cooper. So they're side by side. This will allow Casey Ensor-Smith, who's just set the fastest lap, to close in. So it's back to 4 for the lead, but with a new race leader for now, Chris Middlehurst.
Yep, certainly is. And here comes Casey Ensor-Smith as well down the inside line to make it 3 wide, but round the outside goes that car which was in 2nd place briefly there, but what a move that was. So Chris Middlehurst was leading off the back straight down towards Brooklands, but all of a sudden Rackstraw goes back to the lead. Casey Ensor-Smith into 3rd place, bit of smoke from the back of Luke Cooper's car possibly as well, but Rackstraw was not happy being down in 2nd place, and straight away he sent for the move which got the job done, and he goes back to the head of the field. So he now goes through. I think Felix Fisher is still dropping down the order. He's into 6th position, possibly 7th by the time they get down towards Copse Corner. So this is not looking good for Felix Fisher as it stands, as we go almost 3 wide once again for the lead. It's going to be 2 wide in fact for 2nd place as Middlehurst tries to hold on for Casey Ensor-Smith, and he does manage to achieve that, but he's got to look in the mirrors because Luke Cooper is right there as well.
Casey Ensor-Smith, I think he's one of the stars of the weekend. That braking moving to Brooklands, I thought was going to take all 4 of them out, but instead he just gained a position. That was pretty mighty. So Chris Middlehurst now under pressure, and we know how late Ensor-Smith is willing to break into Brooklands. His time is on the outside. Alex Walker's catching them all, so now he's cleared Felix Fisher. He's able to catch those in front. But has Andrew Rackstraw got away from Chris Middlehurst? Possibly so. Middlehurst 2nd, 3rd Ensor-Smith, 4th is Cooper, 5th is Walker. Then a small gap back to the battle between Jonathan Kotick and Felix Fisher. And I think you're right, Kotick ahead of Fisher. Joey Foster into the top 10 with the fastest lap, a 101.679 up to 9th. Joey Foster halfway through the race.
Yeah, I think he's going to make a move on Felix Fischer before too much longer as well. You can just about see him in the background. It's that dark green machine which turns through now, just ahead of Charlie Mann by the looks of it. So Charlie's now starting to drop down the order after a good start from lower down on the grid. He now has some work to do to try and stay inside the top 10 as best as he possibly can, as Alex Walker now dives to the inside of Luke Cooper. We'll be very careful in these cars not to interlock wheels, because as we've seen, one small movement in the wrong direction can end your race, and that is exactly what you don't want in this semi-final, because only 18 go through to the final later on. And Casey Ensor-Smith again trying another move. He went inside outside. Chris Middlehurst did exactly the same to try and defend, and that means that Casey cannot find his way through. So we stay as we are, but all of this is maybe just allowing Andrew Rackstraw to pull away as Charlie Mann and Felix Fischer go side by side through Luffield. But what's happened to Joey Foster? I think he's just dropped down a few places there, so possibly a slight mistake for him on that lap.
We think he might have had a spin at Brooklands for Joey Foster, so that could well have dropped him out of a qualifying position. It's not gone to plan, the Waterhouse Trophy for 2024 for Joey Foster. Behind, there's a good battle. Adam Higgins up the inside of Jason Pribble, the American. Got Anthony Amato in that as well. It's Andrew Rackstraw's lead gap starting to come down again, because Chris Middlehurst going after him. Cooper and Walker, this isn't a replay of the previous lap, but they are side by side again as they go through Beckett's corner for 4th and 5th. Both drivers who have battled this year in the Castle Combe Championship. Foster is 16th, so he's still in a qualifying position to be back ready where he started, and that was not part of the plan for the 4-time winner. Middlehurst, is he defending or attacking here? It's hard to tell. He's got the two KMR Spectrums. They're almost 5 abreast behind, so this could get messy if everyone's not careful. You've got Darwin-Smith, who's made great progress. He's just passed all of them pretty much, but he's on the outside now, of Jason Pribble. They bang wheels as they head in towards Luffield Corner. Darwin-Smith started 21st in this race. He's nearly in the top 10.
Yeah, I was going to say outside the top 20, wasn't it, for Darwin? So he's now making good progress, just like Joey Foster was doing. But as you said, he's still in this mix. He's just on the tail, actually, as they come through now. So he's behind this 7-car train, which he probably doesn't want to get involved in too much, because that could be a little bit disappointing for him as well. But of course, the higher you get up, the better you start for the final. So if he can make his way through safely, I'm sure he will do. But hopefully Joey Foster hasn't got too much damage on that car, as this fight now works its way down towards Maggots and Beckett's. There comes the number 57 machine to the inside as well, which is Ian Campbell. He squeezes his way through nicely. There's a few run out a little bit wide there on the exit, which they've pretty much been doing all weekend long so far. And the one he's up against is going to be the Adam Higgins 111 machine. So off they go once again. Darwin-Smith looking to make a move on the run down towards Brooklands. As up front, we've had a change here, which sees still Andrew Rackstraw in the lead, but Casey Ensor-Smith has now gone through on Chris Middlehurst. We've had a shuffle towards the front, and we're going to have a couple of laps to go with more off. Darwin-Smith is one of them.
And Adam Higgins the other. So Darwin-Smith, who'd made so much progress in that race. Adam Higgins frustrated. Another Castle Combe champion on this grid. He's out of it though. And for the lead, the two South Africans are side by side. There's contact between Alex Walker and Chris Middlehurst, was that, as he looked up the inside. Ensor-Smith, I don't think, could quite get round the outside of Rackstraw. He has got the fastest lap though, Ensor-Smith. There's 2 laps on this race to go. So are the two South African teammates going to work together, or are they both keen to start on the front row? Super late on the brakes is Rackstraw as he turns into Beckett. Luke Cooper's got 4th back from Alex Walker after he went wheel banging a moment ago. Jonathan Kotick is the SIP car involved in this battle. And here comes Middlehurst. He's alongside Ensor-Smith. Not quite. The KMR Spectrum stays ahead. Then Ensor-Smith looks at a toe off of his teammate Rackstraw, who's led most of this race. Down towards Brooklands Corner. The American at the back of the group. He sort of had a quiet race, Jonathan Kotick, but he's been getting on with it. Then there might have been yellow flags there. That's why we saw no challenges, because they're getting Adam Higgins' car out of the way. Meanwhile, James Hadfield, who was in the progression this morning, he's got himself into the top 18, so he's had a good race. Yeah, good progress for him. So James Hadfield is up there. Joey Foster is back up there. Unfortunately, we've lost Darwin-Smith, as we said, but as we head now onto the last lap, Felix Fischer is going to be under some pressure from Charlie Mann, who went well yesterday in the heats to get himself onto the podium, but probably a little bit further back than he would have planned to be in this second semi-final. But for now, he is going to be in as he sits with inside the top 10 as Chris Middlehurst tries to fight back on what's going to be Casey Ensor-Smith. But as it looks, it's going to be the teammates that are going to be finishing in 1st and 2nd places. And don't rule out Luke Cooper as well. Got on the podium in his heat yesterday. He'd love to do the same in this semi-final as well. So Brooklands and Luffield and Woodcote to go. And not sure if we're clear of yellows here. Perhaps we are, because there's some challenges going on for second. But Ensor-Smith has held on. Round the outside comes Alex Walker of Luke Cooper. Can he sneak up the inside into Luffield? maybe. He keeps coming, but Luke Cooper is there in fourth. But ahead of them, it is Andrew Rackstraw, who is going to take semi-final number 2 in a dramatic race. For second place, though, it could well change because Chris Middlehurst is trying to draw off alongside Casey Ensor-Smith. They are side by side, but it looked like Middlehurst was ahead. Everybody else comes through side by side. Andrew Rackstraw wins it then. Casey Ensor-Smith, his teammate, second. Chris Middlehurst is third. Fourth is Luke Cooper, Alex Walker fifth, and Jonathan Kotick sixth, all separated by 1.3 seconds. Who is going to be in the qualifying positions? Because it's much tighter for 18th this time. And 18th goes the way of Nathan Ward. So Nathan Ward is the last person to qualify for the final by less than 0.2 of a second from Tom Hawkins, who misses out. But Andrew Rackstraw there, the South African Formula Ford champion from 3 years ago, is the race winner in semi-final number 2 here at the Waterhays Trophy. The Invest Chem sponsored driver, Andrew Rackstraw, the winner. He was a winner in Porsche Carrera Cup at Thruxton earlier in the year. Can he be a Waterhays Trophy winner? Well, he's done everything right so far, winning his heat. He's now won his semi-final as well, but it didn't come easy. Not least because his teammate Casey Ensor-Smith is sort of the new star from South Africa coming onto the scene. He was the runner-up in the South African Formula 4 Championship this year, was Casey Ensor-Smith. He's not the best at getting the car off the line, but he's fought through really well to come home second. I'm not sure here at Silverstone when we last had a 1-2 for South Africans, but that's what we've got today. One car that's had a drama on the final lap of the race, I'm afraid, out of Luffield Corner, as the leaders go past, is that of Dominic Shepherd. But I think we're about to have a look at our results. It was the Rackstraw that won it by 7/10 from his Spectrum teammate, Casey Ensor-Smith. Chris Middlehurst perhaps disappointed after leading to drop to third. Luke Cooper was fourth. Alex Walker fought through well to fifth ahead of Jonathan Kotick. Felix Fisher and Charlie Mann faded to 7th and 8th. Jason Privel, the second American in the top 10, was 9th ahead of Anthony Amato, going well on his Hayes debut. Ian Campbell's having a good day. 11th position is a great result. Joey Foster disappointed, I'm sure, with 12. Alex Ames was 13th, the first of the historic cars ahead of Callum Grant. Drew Cameron qualifies, as does Lewis Fox, James Hadfield and Nathan Ward. Missing out, and therefore reserved for the final, will be Tom Hawkins and Andrew Schofield. Gavin Wills fought up to 21st ahead of Pascal Monberon, Joe Ahrens, Mark McKenna, Ben Sims, Jake Shortland, Nigel Dolan, as well as Nigel Thompson, Sam Mitchell and Ben Tinkler. They were all finishers, as were Neil Hunt and Luke Machine. Dominic Shepherd retired at the end. You had the incident between Darwin Smith and Adam Higgins, and Rob Hall, he went missing as well halfway through the race. But a very dramatic second semi-final. So the grid now pretty much set for the grand final here at Silverstone, which will come up just after 3:30. But for now, we can speak to our 3 semi-final podium finishers with Matt Suckling.
Thanks, Josh. Yep, down here with race winner for the second time this weekend, Andrew Rackstraw. Well done, Andrew. You get your semi-final trophy there, and cracking race that was. Wonderful to watch, as always. Did you enjoy being part of it again?
I loved it. Obviously, you like it more when you're at the front end, but with that comes with lots of hard work. Around here in the slipstream, you just can't get away. So you're just hoping that the guys behind fight. But I'm super happy with my other South African 1-2, so that's super nice. And yeah, it's all to play for in the final. I think everyone's taking it easy and not risking too much. But I think in the final it will be all-out war, and we'll be going for the top step. So yeah, let's see what we can do.
Some good moves out there as well, some good pace around the outside, and of course Chris was challenging you, Casey, as you said as well. There's a long line of people trying to take that spot away.
Everyone's here for the same reason, teammate or not. Everyone's here to win. That's what everyone's here to do. It only happens once a year, so I think the aggression, it will be quite intense in the last race. But yeah, I hope whoever wins, hopefully me, but whoever wins, I just hope it's a good, hard, clean fight. You never like winning off of the track, so yeah, let's see what we can do.
Strong pace from you so far this weekend. As we know, you finished third here at the Waterhays Trophy last year, so you'd love to go to the top spot, as we mentioned yesterday, but it's looking good at the minute.
It is looking good, and like I always say, KMR just do an absolutely immense job to get this car on pace, and it's not only one car that's quick, it's every single car that they're running. So a huge hat off to them, and yeah, I wouldn't want to win it for any other team.
Good stuff. Well done, Andrew. Good luck for the final later on. So that's Andrew Rackstraw, your semi-final 2 winner. We'll have a quick chat as well with Casey in just a short while, but we'll head over and first off try and get a word with Chris Middlehurst. He's doing his interview as well, so we'll dive in with one of these guys very shortly. Chris, come and join us. Well done. 3rd place in that race. It was 2nd for a time. It was 1st for a time as well. Yeah. But some good, clean, hard-fought racing, which is what we want to see.
Absolutely, yeah. Clean racing from both the KMR cars there. Just couldn't quite stay ahead of them, unfortunately. I just didn't quite have the straight line speed, without the toe. The actual race pace was very strong. I think I was stronger than the pair of them. But once Ensor-Smith got, behind me, I knew it was going to be very hard because it's two KMR cars against the one Team Doan, and it's hard to attack and defend at the same time. So I think I managed it pretty well. Could possibly have stuck it out a little bit later on the brakes into Brooklands, but you brake a little bit too late and you end up locking up and going inside of someone. I thought, well, just save that for the final. I think we're starting in either 5th or 6th, so good position to start the race. I think we've got a race car under us that we can win, even the dry, so just got to get a good start and just go for it.
As we know, of course, you're the champion from last year in the Walter Hayes Trophy. There's lots on the line in these races because one small mistake, one moment with interlocking wheels, it can just kind of end it all, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's a trophy race. No one's here to come second at the end of the day. People obviously might like to finish on the podium, but the idea is just to win the event. There's no championship involved, things like that. So for me, as car number 1, I've only got one aim, and that's to win again. I know it's going to be very difficult, as it always ever is, but I think we've got, like I say, a really great car underneath us to do that. I just got to kind of, see how the race pans out. The first couple laps are going to be pretty frantic. It's just probably the cars behind you as well, and the cars in front are very similar match pace. So got a great start in that one to get in the lead. So fingers crossed I can do that again, and let's see what happens. At a stage, you just don't know what's going to happen, but there's always action, there's always people crashing into each other, and you kind of not got to be involved in anything really. At the same time, you've got to make moves. You've got to get through the pack, and you've got to try and get out there, because if you can get in the lead and break the toe, job's a good one.
And 15 laps for the final might seem like a lot, but they do disappear quite quickly, don't they?
Yeah, I'd rather it be at least 18, 20. I think it's quite a short race really when you kind of get into it. There only being just over a minute a lap, it does go literally just go like that. So who knows, in the future they might extend it. But I think everyone's got the brand new tyres for the final, so we're all going to be pretty evenly matched. But yeah, I just can't wait to get back in the car. It's going to be a long few hours waiting.
Chris, well done. Congratulations on your result there, and good luck for the final as well. So, Chris Middlehurst, we'll have a quick chat as well with Casey Ensor-Smith, who finished in 2nd place. Casey, well done. It's been a great weekend for you so far. As Andrew said, it's nice to see the 2 South Africans in 1st and 2nd place, and you must have enjoyed that fight so far this weekend.
It was been a really good fight. The 2nd race I was a bit slow off the start, sleeping quite a bit, but then I dropped down to 7th and I just managed to get up to 2nd, and it was an amazing race, close racing. It's not stuff I'm really used to, but it's awesome racing. Yeah.
We have to say we're very impressed with your moves off the Wellington straight, round the outside there, trying to chuck it to both of those guys who were ahead of you. That was a really good move.
Because I wanted to make up places so I could catch up to Andrew, and it was only a chance I had, so I had to take the gamble, and it paid off.
You must be really happy with the pace you've got, both you and Andrew. The car seems strong, the pace is good, and the final's now the last thing for you to achieve.
Really happy with the pace. I do think there could be a little bit more in the car, but it's keeping up with everyone else, so it's good enough.
You enjoying your time at Silverstone so far?
I'm loving it. It's amazing.
Casey doing a tremendous job. Good luck for the final as well.
Thank you.
There we go. Casey Ensor-Smith down here in the pit lane along with Andrew, and also for Chris as well. Right, we're going to be doing some more work down here in the pit lane very shortly, but for now let's hand back to the box and Josh Barrett.